From choosing a bar of soap to career alternatives, professionals today face a problem unlike our earlier generations. We face the problem of plenty and the burden of choice. If you've experienced two, chances are that you find it hard to navigate overchoice. You feel overwhelmed with the decision making and get trapped in inaction without a way out. If that's you, this series of 2 episodes will give you some tips on understanding overchoice and navigating the problem of plenty. Hello and welcome back to a brand new episode on the Own Your Everyday series. I'm your host and self-awareness coach Shweta Shivraman, and this is a short series of 2 episodes. In today's episode, we will talk about overchoice, the many problems that come with it, and how more choice is overrated. And in the next episode, we will see some strategies to overcome the problem of plenty. Our parents growing up had limited career opportunities and a limited reserve of financial savings, in some cases, that offered enough constraints to make their peace with the job they had, and they held on to it for 40 years or their entire career. But that might as well be a tale of fiction for those of us in middle management roles today. Today's diverse career options, combined with the internet acting as a force multiplier, opens up many possibilities and many paths that lead to similar success. While this is a utopian dream for the previous generation, we, especially those born in the 90s and later, are daunted by the sheer variety of options, and more often than not, it paralyzes us from moving forward. Should we leave a steady paying job to start something up on our own, or join a unicorn startup, accelerate career growth and accumulate wealth? Should we diversify and broaden our domain, or niche down and become even more of a specialist within our chosen industry? As an ICF-ACC coach who works with many successful women struggling to choose what next in their mid-careers, this is a typical pattern I observe. Feeling lost in sea of options and staying stuck in limbo for fear of making the wrong choice. While it may seem rosy on paper to have so many options, the problem of plenty has plenty of side effects too. 1. Confusion. When faced with so many options, what naturally follows is confusion. We find ourselves confused about what next for us, where we are headed, and what, if any, is the shortest path to success. 2. Fear. The longer we swim in the ocean of options, the lower our self-confidence goes and the higher our fear gets. We feel less and less confident about what's the right thing for us and end up putting more and more pressure on ourselves the longer we don't decide, because we want to get it right now after spending so much time thinking about it. 3. Stagnation. We feel stuck. We keep wondering, is the grass greener on the other side? And we fail to bet on ourselves and stay in the status quo longer. We put off decision making till we are 100% sure, and we end up never having that courage to take that leap. In behavioral economics, this phenomenon is called choice overload. Too many options may paralyze us from making no decision or sticking to the default option, as that is less risky. There are 3 reasons I think why choice is overrated. 1. More choice leads to lesser action. Professor Sheena Iyengar from Columbia University conducted a study on choice overload and identified that while the presence of choice might be appealing as a theory, in reality, people find more and more choice to actually be debilitating. Too many options overwhelm us and make us avoid choosing. So when faced with too many options that our minds cannot comprehend and make a decision, we choose the safe alternative, not to make a choice and not to take any action. However, not taking action or not choosing is a choice in itself. I've written a detailed blog on this. I'll probably link that up to the detailed section in the podcast description, but more on that later. The second problem, more choice leads to poorer decisions. When our minds are overwhelmed with options, in some cases, we tend to impulsively choose something or inconsistently make decisions that impact us in the long run. We make decisions in haste without considering all available choices, leading to poor quality decision making with wide-reaching consequences and lots of regret later. 3. More choice leads to lower satisfaction. This is a classic case of FOMO, inaction. When there are more choices, there is constant wonderment about that unlived life on the missed out alternate path that we did not choose. If we decide and move forward, we find ourselves constantly brooding in dissonance on the path we've left behind. Our mind keeps running on an overdrive and keeps asking a similar question: what if the other option was better? This causes persistent dissatisfaction. We cannot shake off this dissonance even if the decision we've taken has led us to a reasonably challenging role and we are making progress in our careers. So in fact, even if we have made the right choice, our dissonance will make us feel convinced that we are not in the right path. But before we go into the strategies to navigate overchoice in the next episode, I'd like to pause here for a reality check. Overwhelm about what next in our careers can come from two reasons. One, the choice overload or the problem of plenty we've been talking about today, or an information asymmetry, a problem of too little information. Before going any further, reassess the career crossroads you find yourself facing. Is the root cause of the problem too many options and lack of clarity on making a better choice? Or is it that you have too little information about the preferences ahead that makes it harder for you to make a conscious choice? If it's the latter, you need to pause to go back and get all the information you need to make the right career choice. We are going to pause the first episode on overchoice here. No Own Your Everyday tip this week. Instead, take this time to reflect on the many ways in which overchoice is affecting your life and identify areas where you feel stuck because you're not able to decide. Until we meet again, this is Shweta Shivraman signing off, hoping you have a fabulous week ahead.